everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our Maximizing Your NetSuite Investment webinar.
So let's jump on in. This is for people that are using NetSuite and have the question about, is NetSuite meeting your expectations? Generally speaking, NetSuite is considered to be the leading mid-market ERP solution. It's got a ton of features available, helps companies run more efficiently, helps them get better insights into their business so they can make better decisions. Having said that, we talk to organizations that are using NetSuite, and a lot of them are saying, hey, we're not getting the full value from our NetSuite. It's not doing the things we thought it would do for us. We saw a bunch of features during the demo, and then once we went live with NetSuite, we didn't see any of those features. We heard about how NetSuite was going to automate things for us and get everything in the system, yet we're still doing a bunch of things manually. We're still using Excel all over the place, all that type of stuff. It's not necessarily that NetSuite won't work for you. It's more likely a matter of optimizing either how your system has been configured, optimizing your processes, or making sure that the team is trained. We often are able to come into organizations and address those things, and NetSuite now works great for them. So the first is ensuring that NetSuite's been configured optimally for you. If you have a very simple organization, maybe just turning on NetSuite and hitting a few buttons and starting to use it works just fine. But if you have a more complex organization, let's make sure we understand what you're trying to accomplish, what features you need, and how those features should be set up. This comes down to having some really detailed discussions with a knowledgeable partner out there that really wants to work with you on that. And in some cases, it does need some personalizations to go along with that, but often it is not much of an undertaking at all, and all of a sudden now you've got the features that you want working the way you want them to work. The other area I talked about is optimizing processes. Here, NetSuite is designed really around leading practices in mind. So often the message is you should have your business align with NetSuite leading practices. And we certainly agree with that as well. But we take the approach that, most organizations have unique nuances. The system needs to be adjusted slightly to take those nuances into account. Step through your processes, highlight where your current processes aren't working or you're conflicting with NetSuite. If we can adapt these leading practices to take your nuances into account, you should be in good shape. A lot of times people are doing processes in a certain way, not because it's what they want to do, but because their current system or their old system was forcing them to do that. And so they just adopted that practice. And as you dig into it, it comes out that, we really don't like that practice. It's just what we've been doing. And then the next area is training. It surprises me still how often we'll come into an organization and they haven't really been trained on how to use NetSuite. We like to talk about two different types of training. One is what we call standard training. Oracle has a great library for NetSuite learning. It's called the Oracle Learning Cloud. They have passes available that you can get for your whole company relatively inexpensively. And it allows you to have anybody on the team at any time go out and learn any topic they want. It is an expansive library. We also think, though, having personalized training is also just as important. And by personalized, we mean training that has been adopted to talk about how your system is set up. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about as far as optimizing is just, you may have done all the rest of the things, but now something's come up that's going to throw a wrench in the whole thing. Maybe you're doing an acquisition, you're adding a new product line. We talk about that it makes sense for you to talk through these things with a knowledgeable partner and get a plan in place on how you can execute on those changes so that the system continues to be optimized as those changes happen. So first of all, with how KES can help. The big thing about this is our customer care plans. These are plans to help you continue to take advantage of the system, have your team have more knowledge around this, make sure the system is running optimally. And with this, now we can provide general support, we can provide that training, we can help personalize, we can do those process reviews to make sure processes are aligned. We can do behind the scenes stuff with health checks and system performance reviews. And we can help you plan out if you're going to be doing any changes in the organization. Why do I suggest talking to KES? We really do live by this solutions for today, partners for life. The big area that makes us different, we do have a support team provide you ongoing support, but we assign a consultant with you so that as you run into issues or you are going to have changes in the business, same person you can talk to that you know, they know you, and you're not starting from scratch. It really is part of this ongoing relationship. We also, when we talk about doing personalized training, we record all those trainings and we make those trainings available for you so that as you bring new employees on into the company, you can use that as part of your onboarding process. Or if you just need a refresher, let's go ahead and take a few minutes and jump on into NetSuite and give you examples of how we can help optimize. So I'm going to talk about training first. How often organizations didn't really get the basics of the training on just how to set up and use NetSuite. For example, it's just surprising to me how many people don't understand how to set up and take advantage of reminders. These are alerts in the system, and we can work with you and say, well, what do you want to be reminded of? Let's go ahead and do that. A lot of people don't understand all the KPIs, how easy it is to put KPIs on their homepage, how easy it is to add any type of search you might want to put, or a pivot that you might want to put, and how easy it is to personalize all that. So we like to take people through that training. We help get them set up, but we show them how to do it themselves as they go forward. We also train on features, like I said, and I wanted to just show you, for example, a lot of people have amortization and don't even realize that they do. It's just something as simple as showing people how to take advantage of that. Put in your account, put in your amount, and go ahead and say, I want to amortize this, and put it on in there over a year. And just like that, NetSuite will handle prepaid expense amortization for you. So we take you through and try to train you not on just the shortcuts, like I said, not on just the features, but everything throughout the system. When we talk about optimizing configuration, there's a couple things around this. And so what we do as part of an initial health check with you, we'll look through all the features that have been enabled, things that you say are important to you. We'll make sure that those are enabled the way that you want them to be enabled. Additionally, what often gets overlooked is preferences, and we'll step through those with you as well. And then there's just little things that we like to take companies through, like renaming your records. If you maybe want to call your customers clients, let's go ahead and do that. Personalize the system for you so it works the way you want. The next area I just wanted to touch on a little bit is personalization. Personalizations in NetSuite are not bad. NetSuite, being this great cloud solution, allows those things to move from release to release without having to be done. So there's no version lock or anything like that. So let's just give you an example of how we can do some personalization. So here I am entering a sales order. As I look at this sales order screen, and we would review this with you, you might say, there's a few things we don't like about this screen. We rarely populate projects, so why don't we move that over to this third tab? And then, when we do a sales order, we want to put a note on there that the shipping team sees, so that'll pop up on the fulfillment screen. So can we add a field on here called shipping note? We want to put a note on the customer, we'll call it a sales note, that we want to have come over to the memo field. And we also want it to pop up so that when somebody's putting in an order for this customer, a message pops up for them. Let's go ahead and say we want to add a new field. We're going to call this shipping notes. And we'll go ahead and save that and apply that. So let's go ahead and jump on in and move that around on our form. So here's my shipping notes field. I'll say put that up in the primary area. And we said we wanted that to be down in that third column. So let's put it over here. So once this saves, so now when we come on in here, we can see we've moved the project field over here so it's out of the way. We put our new shipping notes field in here. I added a new field on the customer record. That sales note field, you can see I just put it down here. So I have a workflow that runs on the sales order, and we can see already that it's already set up to grab that sales note field from the customer and put it into the memo field. We also want it to pop up on the screen so that we're sure people don't miss that. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to show that field. I'm only going to do this if that sales note field has been populated. So now if I come back in here and enter a sales order, when I go ahead and select that customer that I'm going to enter the sales order in, It will now go ahead and say, well, you wanted me to populate the memo field, but you also wanted me to pop up this message. So I'm showing this mainly because I wanted you to start thinking about your workflow. You know, how many things would you like to say, hey, auto-populate this field if this happens, lock this field if this happens, make this field required if this happens. If you take all this and kind of put it all together, our goal when we come into an organization that's using NetSuite that maybe isn't getting the full value is after we go through the reviews and we do the health checks, all that stuff, it's making sure that the organization has trained staff, making sure that the configuration, the features have been enabled that they want, making sure that we've talked through the processes and the processes are documented. And then let's personalize the heck out of the system. When we bring that all together, that's when we can feel really good that somebody is going to say, yes, NetSuite's doing what we want it to do for us.
Thank you, Glenn, and thank you all for joining us today. Please reach out if you have any remaining questions. We look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Thank you.